Hello there. We're here to tell you that we have so much more to offer you now at our Mixed Tees store. Not just t-shirts and hoodies, but we do have plenty of those, and new designs for that matter. You can also get mugs, and of course our brand new limited Amber Turds stained blanket. That's right, just for your bed or wherever you need it. So head on over to Mixed Tees now and get all your apparel and goodies from Midnight's Edge.
Entertainment news today. You're such a dragon gay. Everything sucks and it's no good. That comes out of Hollywood. But there's one place you can go to get all your news and info, and maybe even have a laugh or two. You know it's true. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We'll stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark. But MEAD never stops. We will keep going through the night as we keep up the culture fight. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark.
Yes, indeed. We do it for Klobby as FKHC 2005 sends in $2 before the show to send some love for Klobby. That's right. We miss him indeed. Welcome to the program, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your favorite show, whether you like it or not. We've got Price of Reason here. How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
It's going. It's going. How's Nick doing?
Nick is pretty good. You know, he's here. He's by winning, and he's full of living and pizza. How you?
I hear you have Toxic Tuesday tonight. That's totally true. Yeah, I got Toxic Tuesday tonight, and we're going to be getting all diabolical with the transporter.
I can't tell if you're being me or being Nicolas Cage mating with me and creating the result.
Mating with you. That's right. Now I'm going Southern like Price.
All right. Hey, you know, I had a good time on Nick's Toxic Tuesday last week. It was a good show, and you know, we might be even talking some Daredevil next.
Man, it was a pleasure having you on. It's huge. One of the best Toxic Tuesdays we've ever had on my channel.
I can't say I've ever seen any of the transporter movies, eh? I don't know if you know whose voice I'm doing now, eh? But yeah.
Is it 70s?
No. 70s, his voice is like this. Diddly diddly potatoes. The Scottish bastard.
Diddly diddly
I was doing CC karaoke.
Oh.
Like talking like this all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a
I was uploading
Canadian
Aberdeen
accent
tracks.
in the background.
Kind of popular on my channel. Yep.
Yeah, we love CC. We miss him. He's busy working.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got Mikey the Mexican Iron Man. Stop it. No.
I can't do that voice. He's too good.
I know.
No, I can actually do a decent CC and a decent Mikey. Nick comes out like a Southern person. I don't know why. And Tom, like, I can't do it. It's just
nobody can do me. Nobody can do me. It's just the way it is.
Oh, maybe one day.
Maybe one day somebody will. But of course, the best one I do, of course, is Andre, because I've heard his voice so long now that it's easy to mimic. And of course, Doomcock is pretty easy too. Yeah. No, anyway, welcome everybody to the program. We got a few things to talk about. We may have some other people joining us. Speaking of those guys, hopefully they show up at some point here, one or the other, or a few. But good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it is, where you is. We want to thank you for being here. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Share out the link. Let everybody know that we are live. That's right, because Lord knows YouTube doesn't do much to help us in that arena. So how was your guys' day, though, otherwise? How you been, Price? Anything new in your world?
No, nothing in particular. You know, I've been, paying attention to that whole Snow White thing, but yeah,
Like,
nothing,
you nosy
nothing.
bastard, quit asking me about my personal life.
The thing is that this week is the big week. I mean, I think that after Thursday, nobody will be able to, pretend this thing is not a disaster. I think.
Yeah, how you been, Nick? What you up to?
Well, I've been watching them Jason Statham movies, keeping the testosterone levels high. And I have actually been keeping an eye on the Snow White tickets being sold at my local theater. So I'm at a town that's around like 30,000 people. And there's a Thursday prime time around like 6:45. Of 126, they sold 8 tickets.
Yeah, it's looking pretty sad everywhere. Even in the Disney world.
I knew it was not going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be that bad. And then I looked at, let's see how Friday is. And there's Friday, there was a 6:30 something that had around 10 tickets sold. And then there's one for exactly 7:30, and there was 0. Once again, I know this is a small suburban town, 30,000 people. But dude, 0? That's insane.
All right, see, look at this.
Nuts.
Disney Snow White, AMC Dine-In, Disney Springs. So this is in Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Saturday 7:30 showing. So this is the middle of the weekend, prime fucking time. 3 seats.
They're going to end up buying some tickets, at least in this thing. Like, somebody's going to buy some tickets somewhere, even if nobody goes. They'll give them away.
That's what I'm thinking too. Well, that's the thing is I'm seeing some with like just a few random tickets here and there. And like I even looked it up all the theaters around me. Everybody else is looking around there. Nobody's buying any tickets for this movie. And there's like just a few seats here and there, 3, 4, 5 people tops sitting next to each other. And that's about it. It's really weird. But anyhow, yeah. So we did get a trailer today, and that's kind of been the big news, I guess. For you Adam Sandler fans, if you still exist. Jibbity-doo, we got a Happy Gilmore 2 coming at you. Hoo-hoo. So what did you think about the trailer, Nick? I know you were jazzed to talk about Happy Gilmore 2.
I love the first movie. I still go back, I watch it. Still got one of the greatest beatings ever that Bob Barker gave to Happy Gilmore. You got a great story with
The Price is Wrong, bitch.
I don't know how I feel about this trailer. I didn't necessarily hate it, but I wasn't exactly wowed by it either. I guess it was just, I kind of just really didn't feel anything. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I really don't know. Once again, I'll check it out. I will check it out. I don't know if Adam Sandler still has it in him between what he did with The Waterboy, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. I don't know if he could be that guy anymore. It's just way too much time has passed since he went on to do our things. And sometimes going back, when someone tries to go back to something, it ends up being kind of a bit of a embarrassing attempt. Maybe I'll be wrong, it'll be good, but I don't know. I just really was just very indifferent on this trailer.
There's only 2 cases where somebody has attempted this and it's worked that I can think of. One is Top Gun Maverick. That one was very much focused on Tom Cruise. He needed to come back into the role and convince you that he's still that guy.
He never stopped being an action-packed guy, though. That's the thing.
Well, and Top Gun is kind of an exception, right? Like, it didn't have 12 sequels. it was a movie that was like a very like a quintessential 80s film.
Right, but they knew how to bring it back, and it was done in a way that you
It
could
had
tell.
kind of that Cobra Kai formula going
Right,
for it,
and that's the
basically.
second situation that I can think of. They brought back Cobra Kai, actually had an idea what to do with it. Everybody was game, and you could tell that the actors involved were excited. When I saw this Happy Gilmore trailer, it seemed like Adam Sandler was going to fall asleep in the middle of his own trailer.
Yeah.
Like that's what it just if there was ever an example of somebody just collecting a check, putting it in the bank, and going through the motions, that's the vibe that I got from the trailer. I'm not hating on him. You can't be 20 years old or 20 your 20s when you're in your 50s or whatever it is.
Or even 30s, but
Right. I mean,
you said it best before we started the show. He's been phoning it in for the last 2 decades, basically.
right, right. I think that at some point, and I'll tell you exactly when it was. He had a really hot streak when it came to movies in the theater. They would put his movies in the theater. Critics would give them a 0, and there would be like people seeing them. They made money every time. He made money, and it all seemed to be working. But then there was kind of, a drop off in quality. I know that some may not like his movies, but I mean, even for his own style, there was a drop off in quality. And at that point, Netflix did this big deal with him where they're just like, listen, people watch your movies on demand. Why don't you just make more movies for us and we'll pay you a ton of money? And since then, it seems like he's grown really comfortable with that setup.
Yeah, I got 0 like okay, even the Force Awakens trailer, right? I'm not talking about the movie, just the original trailer. I mean, it gave you kind of those similar chills you got from the Phantom Menace trailer and certain other big trailers that we think of in the past that were really anticipated. And this just felt like, just like the original teaser, because this is actually the second teaser we've got now for this fucking
Right.
thing.
I saw another one, and that other one was annoying too.
Yeah, and both of them, and I said this before, and I stand by it still, these feel like Super Bowl commercials. Like I'm just waiting for Adam Sandler to pull out like, a beer or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I need some Bud Light and I can get my game back. And then all of a sudden, then it's a commercial instead of an actual movie like we think it is, like every fucking Super Bowl reunion commercial like that.
Yes, it kind of feels that way.
Yeah, it has that kind of vibe to it, and you're missing clearly, like you can tell the one guy is clearly, like this was probably a script that was written a few years ago too, because you can tell that like old dude that he's talking to is probably meant to be Chubbs. Right. So like,
Right.
I mean, and Carl Weathers has only been dead for what? A year?
Right.
So they probably wrote this with him in mind there. And then, and this trailer was just basically, remember this guy, remember this character, remember this, like that's all it was.
Complete
and it was
member berries. Yes.
Yeah. Even almost in a way, kind of like less eventful than Coming to America too. Right.
I was thinking, you know what? It's funny. I was just thinking about Coming to America too, because that one was just so generic and forgettable that I watched it once, never felt like watching it again. And I remember what happened there, but I don't even have to remember any more details or anything. It's just, I almost prefer to forget it, really. And I think that that's what this movie will be, that you hope you forget it after you watch it.
And look, I know Chubbs died in the first one, but they also had him as a angel. And didn't he have a cameo as well in like Little Nicky as Chubbs as well, I think? If I'm not mistaken, when Little Nicky went to heaven. I could be wrong. It's been like 20 years since I've watched Little Nicky, but I know all his movies like crossover. I mean, if anything, he should just do like a fucking Megaverse movie where all his worlds just kind of collide. I don't know.
That would be funny.
That would be funnier than this. You're right. Like, because this just felt sad and, remember this character kind of shit. Like, the only one we didn't see, funnily enough, was Rob Schneider. And he's in there. But, Netflix is just too afraid to show him, right?
Right, because he doesn't.
He's right wing. Yeah, he's pro-Trump and all that business. Yeah. He's low-key canceled in Hollywood, so yeah.
I mean, I personally think that this movie is it's probably not necessary. It doesn't look like it's bringing anything fresh or new to the table, and I also think that even Sandler's overall brand of humor is comedy changes and people change, and the combination of comedy changing and Adam Sandler growing older. you know, there's only so much that he can go and pretend to be like the adult child, especially
Right.
when he just doesn't have that energy. You look at him, he feels like a guy who's made a lot of things in his career, made a lot of money, and when I look in his eyes, like when you see his eyes, they don't seem like he wants to
He
do
has
anything.
no energy. And this is where I disagree with what Anthem is saying here is felt like it had heart, but not to last. I don't think so. Felt like everybody else had a lot more energy and wanted to be there more than he did. Like this really, like I could be wrong once I see the film, because clearly part of the film is about Happy growing up, obviously. But I mean, do we really want to see another one of our classic heroes drugged down to the bottom of the barrel again? Like, is that constantly what we have to see? That's the plus side of Top Gun, right? Is that you know, Tom Cruise isn't at the bottom of the barrel. Sure, he's not in the military still anymore in the beginning. But he's still testing planes and doing other cool shit.
Mecha J is asking if I think that Sandler should retire. First of all, Sandler's a businessman. I suppose
Oh,
if
God, yeah.
I was where he is in his career, and Netflix would keep on coming to me and saying, "Here's $20 million. Can you just do something? Here's $20 million. Here's another $20 million." I probably would keep taking their $20 million until they tell me that they don't want to give me $20 million. And I feel like that's exactly what's going through Adam Sandler's mind. As long as somebody gives him a check for $20 million, he will make your movie.
Yeah, and Chris reminded me, that's right. Rob Schneider didn't come in until Waterboy. That's right.
Oh.
So he might still be in it, but just not as, I forgot. He might even show up as a "you can do it" to replace the fucking other guy who's dead. What's his face? It was like, dumbass. Kept fucking with him. Yeah, maybe they'll have something there. There was another question here too I wanted to grab here in the chat. Let me find it here if I can. But no, it just kind of blah. I just wish he'd leave it alone. It was about Little Nicky, and yeah, here it is. Milton says, "I really don't like Little Nicky," which, well, we're getting a sequel to that too. That was the first of movie I saw his where it was clear he lost the touch. I agree, right? Like that's the demarcation line in my opinion, because Adam Sandler was like on fire up until Little Nicky, and then Little Nicky just kind of felt like, oh, so here's the gimmick. Does that make sense? Like we've had a few characters now, we're kind of getting like, he just comes in, he does a funny voice, maybe a funny face, has a little like high concept gimmick, and this is now an Adam Sandler movie. And do you really want to sit there and listen to him go, talk like this through the whole movie? Not really. It's his worst character, I agree. Little Nicky was not a lot of fun. I bet you liked it though, Nick. It seems like that's one you'd like.
Oh, I enjoy Little Nicky. That's probably the last one that I enjoy.
I like everything but the main character. That's my problem.
Popeye's chicken is fucking good. I love it. Oh man, it's so good. Yeah,
Meatball or whatever. The dog is better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Little Nicky. That after that one, that was where my line got cut off. Yeah, I do say I like Big Daddy as well. Big Daddy is a good movie.
Big Daddy was all right. It has
I
it has
enjoy
its
that.
moments, yeah.
But yeah, Little Nicky, that was it. That was the cutoff line. I remember wanting to enjoy Mr. Deeds, especially since he had a fountain made of Hawaiian punch. And then reality hit, and I saw
the problem with that movie is John Turturro's funnier than he is in the whole movie. Isn't that the dude's name, right? The one who plays.
Is that who it is? Yeah,
I think so.
I know
yeah.
You're talking about
the guy who's in all the Coen brother movies. Yeah,
yeah. That movie.
There's a few. There's a few that I liked afterwards. I felt like the part that really you could tell that it was done was like Jack and Jill and That's My Boy. I felt
that
like,
was horrible. That was wretched.
See, before whatever you were saying, Tom, you could claim that there was like a gradual decline.
Zohan was the first time I flat out hated, and I mean fucking hated the movie, and I couldn't even understand why people still like it.
I thought it was dumb.
Personally. I know Paul likes it. I know I have a few friends who like it and stuff like that.
No, I thought it was really stupid, actually, personally. But some people like
annoying. To me, it felt like he's trying to do a Mike Myers movie. That's what it felt like. And it's like, Mike Myers is getting horrible at doing this. Why are you trying to do this, Adam Sandler? It just made no sense to me.
Which one is Mr. Deeds? Isn't
Mr. Deeds is the remake of the classic one where the You know, like the hillbilly dude gets well, he's not
Right.
hillbilly,
So yeah,
but
I liked Mr. Deeds. Didn't it have a Winona Ryder in it?
it was all
and
right.
John
It was
Turturro?
probably one of his better ones, but as far as like comparing it to the original film, that's the problem. But that's the one I was talking about, where John Turturro or whatever his name is funnier than he is in the movie or anybody else.
John
for that
Turturro
matter.
was great in that. I
Yeah.
liked the movie Click. I know that could be controversial. I thought Click was a good movie.
The problem I had with Click was I read the script before I saw the movie years ago, because that was one of those famous scripts that was going around Hollywood for years. And like Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, Bill Murray, Steve Martin, I think, was even attached to it at one point. Like, it was just one of those famous scripts that kept getting passed around. And then when Sandler got a hold of it, he made it a Sandler movie. Kind of like with that video game movie,
Pixels.
Pixels. It's like that movie was a great idea, but then it seems it's just bogged down in the Sandlerisms.
I think that the last time, and I'm not saying all the movies until this point were great, but I'm saying the last time I thought I saw a movie that I thought like was, all right or watchable.
That's My Boy was actually better than I thought it was going to be. But Jack and Jill, he did that movie Funny People with Seth Rogen and
Yeah, about him getting cancer.
Judd Apatow and all that stuff. Like the first half of the movie is actually pretty good, and then when it becomes a movie about him trying to get his ex-girlfriend back, it completely takes a left turn, and you're like, what the fuck
Is it
this
somebody
movie
getting
now?
cancer, or am I confused with another movie?
No, that's how okay. The movie starts out, it's actually really good because it's Adam Sandler playing a comedian, and he hires Seth Rogen to write jokes for him, and he finds out he's dying. So it's like this whole thing of kind of like he's dying, and he's kind of like this whole like passing of the mantle thing going on, and him coming to terms with it all, and both sides. It is actually kind of a really good film. And then all of a sudden, as soon as he finds out he's not dying, about halfway through the movie, he gets this obsession with getting his ex-girlfriend back from Eric Bana, and that becomes the last half of the movie. And it's just meandering numbness and dumbness. And Seth Rogen is like, shouldn't even be there at that point. He's just hanging around pointing out how much of an asshole Adam Sandler is, basically. And Adam Sandler is just acting like an asshole, right? And it's like, what the fuck is this movie now? It like took a complete 180 turn from where it was before. Because it was like this
movie.
Yeah, the first half was fine. I'm like, okay, I don't hate this so far. And then all of a sudden, as soon as he found out he's gonna live, that's where the movie should have probably ended. Like, because they should have just bookended it with this whole idea that him and Seth Rogen blew up and whatever, and then they kind of come back together at the end as friends. That would have been a great, fine little movie about, comedians. But no, it turns into this whole fucking thing about this girlfriend, and that's Judd Apatow's fault. This isn't even Adam Sandler's fault.
No,
So
Judd Apatow wasn't a good.
Yeah, it's because he had to bloat this comedy and make this it's like 2.5 hours long on top of it all. Like, you could cut it down to just the beginning part of the story and probably bookend it with the very end, and it'd probably be like, yeah, that's not a bad movie.
Judd Apatow is another case where like he could make kind of funny movies early on, and then he became like he thought he became some big auteur. And
yeah, he had this thing where he's like, I can make people sit for more than 2 hours, so he's like purposefully trying to make movies longer and longer and longer.
No, but he also wants people to say he's funny, but there's a little more to it than that.
Yes.
And that's exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
And until today, he hasn't been able to
like elevated comedy, basically, like elevated
it's
horror.
not just some stupid comedy. It's Judd Apatow, and because like he's so like full of himself like that, we've been getting these shitty movie for years. But
You're
what
not
I'll
wrong.
say is Grown Ups was a dumb movie, but I didn't hate it. And maybe that's the last one. Grown Ups 1. I think 2
I
already.
hated it, but my folks loved it. So
I think I watched the first one and at least got a few chuckles out of me. It's not my favorite Adam Sandler movie, but it's at least one that I remember that I watched, and like it did the bare minimum. I feel like after Grown Ups 1, I can't really think of one that I saw that
I don't think I even saw Grown Ups 2. Grown Ups 1 turned me off so bad because that's the one with the adult kid, not adult kid, but the child like breastfeeding or whatever.
Yeah, Grown Ups 2 is not good except for the Steve Austin cameo in it. That's about it. That's the only thing good about it. But
I mean,
dude, anger management, that I straight up needed anger management after seeing that movie.
Like, here's my problem with that movie is I know a lot of people
be-
like it, but I hate movies where you have two characters who are just being nothing but mean to each other for like 2 hours, like Monster-in-Law, Election, shit like that.
Mhm.
Where, there's this whole like thing where they're just putting somebody through the ringer, and at the end you find out, oh, it was all for a reason, like, yeah, I hate that shit. Anyway, you were saying, Nick, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. it really bummed me out. I remember seeing the trailer for Anger Management, being wowed by it, thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be so outrageous." And then once again, I was like, "Why is this movie like this?" It was supposed to be this over the top craziness, full of like, these two dudes outdoing each other with their anger problems, and it was just, it was not off the wall comedy. It was not at all. It was a movie that should have come out many years after he was more into his more serious career. The trailers were very misleading for that movie. Very misleading.
Yeah.
Let's just say that for about 15 years, I feel like he hasn't delivered like a home run, at least.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his best. He
obvious.
peaked with Wedding Singer. That's the problem.
That's a
Wedding
good
Singer was
movie.
his best film, and it's gone downhill from there. And I'm talking about his films that he's personally involved in. Yeah, he had a few other ones past that, but those that are best were the ones where he was trying to recapture the Wedding Singer, and it's because him and Drew Barrymore have really good chemistry. So like 50 First Dates is a really good one. It's not great. It's not nearly as good as the Wedding Singer. It goes a little thin after the first hour or so.
Yeah.
But it's a cute little movie, right? And I mean, he's had a few that were okay, but like he did, like Jack and Jill. That was my point I was getting to with Funny People. Actually, that's why I brought it up. Jack and Jill. The first time I saw the trailer, I've said this before. I thought that was an outtake from Funny People, because in Funny People they have a bunch of fake trailers of like Adam Sandler like movies that his character is in. Like he's like this talking baby and shit like that and all this other stuff. So I'm like watching this trailer. I'm like, this can't be a real movie. This has got to be like an outtake from Funny People or something. And then I'm like, no, this is real. It's like they're not even fucking trying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Who thought it was a good idea, first of all, to have Adam Sandler play a girl? Because dude is like 6 foot, whatever. He's huge, right? He doesn't look anything close or remotely like a girl. Now, like Eddie Murphy has proved that if you put enough makeup on him, he can pull it off as like a Mama Clump or something like that. You know what I mean? Or a Norbit and stuff like that. I have yet to see where Adam Sandler is that elastic of a comedian that he can play multiple roles like that. So there was nothing that to me, it feels like that was a movie that was written for Jim Carrey or Eddie Murphy, and it just wound up in Adam Sandler's lap, if that makes sense. Even if the movie
Makes
was
a
even
lot of sense. Makes so much sense. I don't need, Tom, I have a thing. You might be right about this whole, this is Happy Gilmore learning to grow up. I don't need another worn down version. Granted, it doesn't seem that they're going to pull a Luke Skywalker on, but I
Happy
still
Gilmore
don't need
really
this.
wasn't the one who needed to grow up. It was Billy Madison. Happy Gilmore just
Yeah,
had anger.
Billy
man,
Madison,
anger
absolutely.
issues.
And that's fine. That was the whole point of the Billy Madison. That's fine for that. But Adam Sandler, if this is the art we're going to go, it's just basically an older version of Billy Madison. I don't need that story, but I'll still watch it. Hopefully it'll be good. I'm gonna watch this right away and try to be as fair as I can.
Yeah.
As far as I know, these two dudes, they talk once a week on the phone, according to
Yeah,
Rob
I mean, as far as I
Schneider.
know, they're still good friends. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
they're
you want to know
really
the
still
truth?
really good friends.
I've heard rumors that Sandler's right wing. He's just quiet
maybe he
about
is, maybe he's not. I
have
not
heard
gonna-
that a couple times. I will
Yeah,
say
maybe
that.
he is, but it hasn't saved any of his projects that he's done the last several years.
Well,
I'm
he
not a
stayed on
fan.
Netflix. He basically does on Netflix what he used to do for Sony, and I used to joke about that. Even I think it was D-Bud it was Mecha J who brought it up earlier. Said, all the grown-ups movies were an excuse for him to take his friends on vacation and have Sony pay for it. Yeah, technically, all of his last few films were that. Even these Netflix movies are basically that. But he gets away with it, and Netflix is willing to pay it. Anthem 21. I just want to say, is Pixels any good? It's good for like the first 2/3, and then the third act goes completely off the fucking rails. But you were saying, sorry.
I'm saying that it was a convenient solution for both parties. Netflix were trying to bring somebody that they just put their movies on their streaming and people will watch. And Adam Sandler is the very definition of putting it on streaming. He has a long history of making these movies. They stream well. And it's exactly what they're looking for. And at the same time, his stuff wasn't doing well in the theaters. So it was the perfect solution. They give him money, like you said. He can hang out with his friends. They don't care. As long as it obviously works for them. If this wasn't a good deal, after a few movies, they would have said, Mr. Sandler, we're really disappointed in this deal. We don't want to work with you anymore. Instead, every 5 minutes, they're like, here's more money. Just make a movie about anything. We don't care. Whatever that movie is, whatever your
You
murder
want to know
mystery.
why? Because people on Netflix click on his movies.
Right. That's all they care about. They get clicks. People are sitting there watching it. Now, he did like Murder Mystery 1 and 2. That is exactly what Netflix wants. It's
Yep.
a dumb, stupid name where you know exactly what kind of stupid movie it'll be. It has Jennifer Aniston, who herself brings the audience like the Friends type of audience. The dudes, maybe like, middle age, whatever, they watch the Sandler movies. Her and him together in a movie. That's what Netflix wants. They made one, which wasn't very good, and 5 seconds later, Netflix is like, we got to have another one. We got to have another
Yep.
one.
Well, it's almost like a cheaper way of doing their shows if you think about it.
Yeah, it probably works out great for them. Yeah,
It does. And this is like, everybody's talking about Millie Bobby Brown, and she was talking about how, she's happy to stay at Netflix with a lot of her projects. Well, of course she is, because they pay her a fucking fortune. Why do you think that robot movie costs so goddamn much? I guarantee you, like, I don't know how much they got paid, but I'm sure it might be out there somewhere. But I'm sure Chris Pratt got like $20-30 million or more, and she probably got $20-30 million or more.
Probably.
So right there, right there,
they're
60,
probably
50
also executive
more million.
producers. They're probably
Yeah.
also even executive producers where they pad their salary with more crap. It wouldn't surprise me. They both got very, very. They got paid very generously.
I guarantee you it, and I guarantee the same thing with Sandler. Probably gets, again, same kind of deal, like 30-40 million a movie. And then, like you said, through his production company, he can pad it in all kinds of other ways. He probably walks away with $100 million each time.
Yeah, I mean, basically, he could say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to produce this movie for you. So give me like $50 million or $100 million, and I'll produce this movie for you." He calls up his friends. They sit there for a vacation. He gives each a couple of mil. They sit in a house. Everything is kind of a relatively smaller and more simple crew. I'm sure you have to pay some people, but a lot of these productions, they can keep it rather. It's in one location. Like Murder Mystery, they're on a boat or they're in a house or whatever. You know what I mean? They're just, he's not spending a
Right.
lot of money. He can just say he had a lot of expenses, and he's making a fortune. And Netflix don't care about any of his antics or what he does. As long as they put his movies on and people are clicking on them, that's all they care about.
Well, I can't say that I really hated it per se, but it didn't really click for me. But Brahma, I sent you the link if you want to hop in. It says this trailer hit the right nostalgia buttons for me. So I would love to hear, somebody else's opinion who actually thought it had some potential. So if you want to pop in, feel free. We are going to move on from it here soon, but while we're waiting for you, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. We got Cthulhu, who's been a member for 13 months. Says, why haven't we had Cage and Sandler in a movie yet? I don't know. That's a great question. That would be both horrible and beautifully insane. Face Off 2. Hey, you took my face off. I want my face back. Woo-hoo. I'm not giving you your face back. Actually, after looking in the mirror, you can have it back. I'll take mine.
I just researched, and the rumor, I guess what stuff was being written online, and I really just did a quick search, that Millie Bobby Brown got $12 million plus some kind of executive producer thing, whereas Chris Pratt got $20 million in some executive producer thing.
What did I say?
So
30 million, and yeah. They both are probably close to the same, yeah.
Yeah, and Millie Bobby Brown, it's great for her. I don't know how much more they're going to make movies with her if they don't do well, but for now, what does she care?
That she's got a home at Netflix. That's the thing. Like, Netflix has become kind of its own studio now. It has grown up a little bit.
It's its own studio, and honestly, she's set for life just with the movies and stuff that she's done with them. I mean, she could do whatever she wants now. Even if they stop giving her movies, she's made a lot of money. She can do
like Stranger Things reunions for the rest of her life.
That's true
on
too.
Netflix. Like every few years, just decide they want to do like another thing with her for Stranger Things. But like, yeah, this is Adam Sandler, same kind of thing. He's got a home here at Netflix. I know they're working on and I think he owns most of the characters through Happy Madison, so they don't have a problem making Little Nicky 2 or Billy Madison 2 or.
Well, that was smart of him.
So,
I mean, you have to give him credit on one thing, and this is one thing that I do give him credit.
Waterboy 2 was also mentioned as well.
The fact that he started his own production company and he was making these movies that really is brilliant. You know, that was a brilliant move, and I think that in that sense, on a business level, he's run this thing very, very cleverly over these past few decades. Spectacular businessman.
It
Not
doesn't
all
matter
the
what we say. You're right. Like, he's successful. End of discussion, right?
end
Like,
of
yeah.
discussion. Even this crappy thing that we're looking at, that it looks like he's going to fall asleep, he is going to make a ton of money. He's going to make a ton of money, and nobody's going to complain, and everybody's going to tell him that he's the best, and he's going to take all of his.
Netflix will probably want Happy Gilmore 3.
Right? They're like, when are you doing number 3? He could like take a dump, like and convert the dump into like a film, like, you know
Just
what I mean?
playing with the poo for like 2 hours. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And they'll probably say, "Hey, can we get Playing with the Pooh 2?"
Wow.
Jesse Green. This is a problem. Jesse Green, this joke is probably funnier than anything in the movie. Way to strike when the iron is hot, Happy Gilmore 2. Yeah, I mean, I was fucking 15 when the first one came out, or 16 or whatever it was. When did the first one come out? 95, 96? Was it 95? I think it was 30 years ago, wasn't it? Or was it? Because no, I think Billy Madison was 95 or 90. Which one was it? Somebody correct me in the chat. Because I've already got them kind of flip-flopped around, because that's the problem, is he did them like boom, 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 boom. And it was like for like 10 years straight, it was like you had at least 1 or 2 Adam Sandler movies in theater every year. So
why are
But
people
some people-
mentioning Andy Dick? What does he have anything?
I don't know. What does Andy Dick got to do with anything?
I don't know. I never thought he was funny to begin with.
Okay. Yeah, Andy Dick has always been a dick.
Yeah,
Well, Billy Madison was way earlier than 98. Billy Madison was his first big hit. That came out the same year as Tommy Boy, so that was 95, yeah.
I told you
Gilmore
once
came
that
out
I
96,
went
96.
somewhere and like, you know, and it was kind of a reception. Andy Dick was there, and they escorted him out of the building.
As you should.
I mean, he was really drinking a lot and doing crazy things, and people came and escorted him out of the building.
I think Andy Dick's been dead for like 20 years. He just doesn't know it yet.
He just from one in the corner of my eye of what I saw, that guy, I think, drinks or I don't know what. That guy is.
He does a lot more than drink. Motherfucker has burnt every bridge he has. I don't know if you've heard the story about why John Lovitz kicked the ever loving shit out of him.
I didn't hear it, no.
Okay, well, the short version is, you know Phil Hartman, right?
Of course.
His wife was all fucked up and she killed him.
Killed him. What a tragedy, yes.
Yeah, well, supposedly the coke that she was on or getting all fucking ramped up on, she was getting from Andy Dick. And to make matters worse, Andy had made some off the cuff comment to somebody one night. And so John just laid the fuck into him. Just beat the shit out of him, I guess. And I guess Andy never turned him in or nothing. But like, it was like really a bad beating. But ever since then, he's been kind of ostracized from everybody, and he just makes it worse for himself, basically, is from what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think
I
much
can't believe
of
there's
him.
not a million Me Too things for him, to be honest with you, other than maybe there's just nothing to get out of him at this point.
But I think that that's the only time I saw, like, you know, and not that I'm Mr. Celebrity or anybody cares about me, but it was one of the only times that I saw that it was like an event that would seemingly be kind to somebody like Andy Dick, and you had people aggressively throwing him out. Like, it wasn't like a gentle, like, maybe you should leave, sir. It was like people coming and like making sure that he's out of there.
Yeah, no, he's bad news from what I've heard from every angle. But that's why he pretty much doesn't work anymore. Speaking of bad news, Big Gator 5 asked for $2. Whatever happened to Mecca Random? Well, she went down her own path, which we tried to get her to do in the first place. Last I heard, she was actually dealing with a bit of a cancer scare. I don't know how she's doing. I hope her the best. I haven't talked to her in a long time. She apologized to me a while back, and that was the last I heard from her and the first I'd heard from her in a long time. And I was just like, thank you. And that was it. So no hard feelings towards her now, but yeah, she's pretty much burned all the bridges she could. And speaking of people burning bridges, but yeah. But anyhow, that being said, that's personal crap and history for Mead. We're in the modern times. Speaking of modern times, we got a Young Guns 3 coming and Tulsa King 3. So we got 3 threes or 2 threes. 2 threes. So what do you want to talk about first, Nick?
Young Guns 3.
I have never watched Young Guns, and I still need to watch season 2 of
It's really bad that Nick had to leave and go back to his home planet. How can you run a show called Toxic fucking Tuesday, the manliest show on fucking YouTube, and most homoerotic at the same time, and not seen and talked about Young Guns yet? I'm disappointed. You want to see my disappointed face?
Yes, please. Please.
I'm judging you with this face. No, you got to see Young Guns, man. Young Guns is fucking amazeballs.
Maybe that's got to be a Toxic Tuesday.
Young Guns 2 is even fun. I'll make you famous.
Okay.
Oh,
I've heard the line. I've heard people say the line, "I'll make you famous." So that's from the second.
That's the thing. All the quotes are from the second film, but the first film's the better of the two. The second film is kind of hard to explain.
Remember when I didn't see Spaceballs?
You've never seen Spaceballs?
No. Remember when I did it?
Wow. No.
No. Before
the only people who've never seen Spaceballs are the people in Spaceballs because they're in Spaceballs.
No.
And even they've seen it because they're watching it in the movie. I'm kidding. Yeah, I didn't know you hadn't seen Spaceballs before.
The prior to Toxic Tuesday for it, yeah. That was why we did it. You must not remember. That was why we did it.
Vaguely. I guess I don't remember you saying you hadn't seen it. But all right. Well, let's talk about some Young Guns. Because Price is like, they're doing a Young Guns 3?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even understand that. I saw the first Young Guns, and then I think that they said that they're doing a second one and released it, and I think that I've never even watched Young Guns 2, because for me, it didn't even feel like a movie that needed one sequel. I'm like, how exactly... correct me if I'm wrong.
I'll have to explain it now, won't I?
How did they even make a Young Guns 2? Wasn't the first one, it ends in a pretty definite way, no?
Kind of. The problem with the first movie is it ends in a place where a lot more shit happened, but they just kind of tell you what happens. And the second movie shows a lot of it, plus adds on top of it this one guy who claimed to be Billy the Kid, and then his claims that he was not dead and all this other stuff. So it picks up where the first movie left off. Because the last part of Billy's life was him running from Pat Garrett. Because Pat Garrett was his friend before, part of the gang. But then when he turned to the law, one of the first things they made him do to prove his, loyalty was to go after Billy the Kid, plus he's the one who knew him the best. So as far as history knows, and this is the reason basically the movie is him getting picked up by Pat Garrett and the whole thing, and, the rest of the guys getting involved one more time. So it takes some liberties. But it sounds like this film's going to take some liberties and might even ignore the second film. So Young Guns 3 says Emilio Estevez confirms third film, and I saw him talking about this. He will also direct. Despite their characters having died in the second film, Lou Diamond Phillips and Christian Slater are returning. So let's see what's going on here. Because actually, as far as I know, I think Kiefer Sutherland could return too. I don't know why he wouldn't.
This is so weird. I mean, again, I wouldn't mind if you wanted to make a movie with these actors. Make like some kind of movie that's cool and bring these actors. I'd be happy to see something that they put together. It's just like insisting on this IP. I didn't even think Young Guns 2 was legitimate. So Young Guns, that's it for me.
Well, Young Guns 2 is huge.
What'd you say?
I think that one I said Young Guns 2 was huge. I think that made more money than the first one.
I don't know.
That's the one that had the Bon Jovi soundtrack and everything.
I watched the first one and I thought that was enough for me. I didn't need any more. And
well, here's what he had to say.
Hello, New Mexico. Thank you, Governor Christian. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, and thank you guys for coming out today. It was actually a surprise to me too to be here today. This all happened pretty quickly. Many of you may have already heard we've started the ball rolling on Young Guns 3. really excited to be back and to be making a film about the American West, about the Southwest, in the Southwest. There are a lot of folks in Hollywood who want you to go to Canada. They want you to go to New Zealand or Australia, make movies about America there. But I really think as an American, as a patriot, we keep our dollars in this country.
Does anybody else notice that he's slowly turning into his dad? Or is it just me?
Totally.
We put our union workers to work on American production.
Yeah, that's the other thing I think I've heard is he's a little right-leaning too.
We show the rest of the world who we are, our diversity, our talent. Young Guns 3 has a component that embraces Latino culture, that embraces Native people's culture. Those are going to be explored in the film in ways that the first two films really didn't really.
I'm getting an idea where this movie
So
is
I'm
going to
excited
go.
to do that. I'm excited to be a part of this. And really, I'm very excited to be back in New Mexico, where I really consider it a home for me. And I just feel like the people here are warm, certainly friendly enough, and they love movies. And so I'm just excited to be back. So thank you so much.
All right, so that's what he had to say. I kind of have a feeling I know where this movie's going to go now. So let's read this real quick. After years of rumors, looks like Young Guns 3 is finally happening. Emilio Estevez confirmed the news himself at Film and Media Day at the New Mexico Capitol. Let me make this a little bit bigger. It's really small on my screen here. There we go. I've heard all. Yeah, so it just reiterates what he said. An official press release from the office of New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. The film's title was listed as Young Guns 3 Dead or Alive, with it further revealed Estevez would be directing the film himself on location in New Mexico, having also co-written the script with franchise regular John Fusco. Yeah, I know he's worked on this for a while, and I think he even talks about it in the making of Young Guns on the new 4K Blu-ray. The report also says Lou Diamond Phillips and Christian Slater will be returning, which may raise a few eyebrows. Why? If you remember, Young Guns 2, both characters died, although conveniently, neither was killed on screen. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Chavez, who was mortally wounded, rode off to meet his fate alone, while Slater's Arkansas Dave was apparently beheaded in Mexico, a destiny we never observe, with it only revealed in the movie's epilogue. Of course, Emilio Estevez, Billy the Kid, survived commonly accepted fate, with him being allowed to get away by the movie's version of Pat Garrett, played by William Peterson. While Young Guns 3 has been much rumored in recent years, it looks like Estevez is dead serious about making it. This time, it also makes sense that he would direct the film, having made several acclaimed films over the years, including RFK, Film Bobby, The Public, and in my opinion, his best film, The Way, which starred his father. Who knows, maybe Estevez will find a way to bring back some other franchise vets like Kiefer Sutherland and his brother Charlie Sheen, although their characters are most definitely dead. Oh yeah, I'm trying to remember. Did Kiefer die in the second one? I'm trying to remember. I don't think he did, but maybe he did. It's been a couple of years, like 2 years since I've seen the second one, but I've seen the first one a million times. But yeah, I think what this is going to be kind of a spin-off more so of the idea that he didn't die. He's down in Mexico, and he's probably going to be training a bunch of like young Mexican young guns is probably what it's going to be about. And then Lou Diamond Phillips and Christian Slater will be involved too, obviously. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to be good, but it has some potential. I can see where it's going.
I hope they don't spend too much money on it.
Well, rumor was that Billy the Kid did survive and he was down in Mexico, because the big thing is the guy that Pat Garrett shot might have been the son of the owner of the home that Billy was staying in, right? So that was the big rumor, and then the big rumor was it was all covered up because it would have fucked Garrett's career, because it was basically like he murdered the wrong person. So it's like a big thing that supposedly that might have been part of a cover up. It still to this day hasn't been proven one way or another, but most people believe that he was shot and killed by Pat Garrett when he was like 26 or whatever it was. So we'll see what they come up with here, but it looks interesting to me. Too bad you hadn't seen the second one really, Price, and
Nick hadn't seen them at all. I thought that was going to be a bit better.
No, I saw
conversation.
the first one. Maybe I could have watched the second one. Maybe because of what you said. I just felt like the first one painted a complete picture, and the second one felt
kind of does.
cash grabby for me. So I kind of let it go. As far as Emilio being more right leaning, it wouldn't surprise me. Don't forget that he had that show on Disney Plus with the Mighty Ducks, and that was a rocky relationship that ended up with him.
Yeah, because he wouldn't get the jab. That's right.
Something about it. Okay,
that's what it was. He wouldn't get the jab.
Right. That was according to them. That was their version. Although he seemed to also say that he didn't like the creative direction of the show. And to be fair, they made him. For anybody that actually liked those movies, they completely Luke Skywalkered him. They couldn't make him more of like a beta. I don't know if to say a beta bitch than what the.
I didn't hate it that much, but I agree with you. It didn't go necessarily the direction I was expecting it to. And then when they made the mom the coach, that kind of pissed me off.
What happens in this series is it's a bait and switch because you think you're going to watch Coach Gordon Bombay, but at the end what happens is it's a stunning and brave mom that he ends up being her assistant.
Yeah, because conveniently he can't coach anymore. Yeah, because of some
because he's such a loser and an old grumpy ass bum with his stupid skating rink. And at the end, there's like a scene that he comes and he's like, "Can I be your assistant?" And I can't explain to you how annoyed I was when that scene happened. It's like I said to myself, this show is a piece of crap. I never want to watch it again. And that's before they said that he's not returning. When I saw the final episode, I said, this show is a piece of garbage. I never want to watch this thing again. And I was really annoyed. And then they just announced that what he said and what they said. And I feel like it's a two to tango situation here.
Could be. So yeah, Nick, anything to say or no?
I've got nothing on these things besides the fact that I guess I gotta watch Young Guns.
You should. Jason Webster sends in 5 Australian dollar dues to say William Peterson as Pat Garrett was the best thing about Young Guns 2. He is a terrific actor. Actually, I like a lot of things about Young Guns 2. It's a lot of fun. I mean,
maybe I'll watch it if you say it's so great. I'll watch it. I always look.
You got to kind of swallow a pill with it at first and realize, yeah, this is the MTV sequel. Like, I mean, like I said, John Bon Jovi does the soundtrack, like the entire soundtrack.
I mean, I don't mind the songs. Actually, out of all
all the songs pretty much.
Out of all the crap that John Bon Jovi has done, those whatever he does for that movie or a few songs for that movie are amongst the better things that he's done.
Well, it is like his solo. That's the thing. It was like his first solo album, technically, because it's like.
Is that like Wanted, Dead or Alive?
No, well, he did that on Slippery When Wet, but you're thinking of it's Blaze of Glory was the song that was for Young Guns 2, and then he had Billy Get Your Guns and a couple other songs.
Oh, Blaze of Glory. Like then you know what? Fuck it. I don't even want to give him any compliments because Wanted, Dead or Alive is one of his better songs, and it's not even.
So is Blaze of Glory, but that's just my opinion. But you should know because that's the one that says you can call me Young Gun.
Right. I got confused, but the reason why I think
they're going to use Dead or Alive for this third film though because it's in the title now.
Wanted, Dead or Alive at least has like a decent solo from Richie Sambora, from what I remember. I think that there's it's pretty good guitar work there.
See, I don't know if that's what I'm saying is I don't know if the rest of the band is even on the Young Guns 2 soundtrack because it's
no, I think it's just him and the other stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that Wanted, Dead or Alive, I always kind of liked it because I remember there's a decent, at least a guitar solo that I thought was rather decent. I don't know. Growing up, I didn't hate Bon Jovi, everything that he did growing up, but he is rather cheesy. Shot Through the Heart, Living on a Prayer, and a few
I just remember watching that video. I don't know how many million times.
Wanted, Dead or Alive. He has maybe 5 songs.
The Young Guns one, but yeah,
he has 5 songs that I think are all right.
By the time I had MTV, Slippery When Wet was already 5 years old or whatever, or 3-4 years old at least.
I see.
Lay Your Hands on Me. They'd play once in a while by that point.
Your Love is like Bad
Living
Medicine.
on a Prayer, they would play a few times here and there, but at that point he already had a couple more albums.
Bad Medicine. Which one is that?
That is one of his. Yeah, that one they would still play. That one's in that era. But Young Guns 2 come out in 90, so yeah, I mean on MTV.
They had their album. They were trying to be a little more kind of grungy. I don't really know how to explain it, but they were trying to recreate whatever U2 Achtung Baby was doing, and I think it was called Keep the Faith.
I don't love their music or anything. I just think they're fine. They're just like basic radio
They're
rock
a
or whatever you want to
serviceable
call
enough
it.
band, I suppose, with a few songs, but it is rather cheesy. They don't get heavily played, you know. I don't really find myself thinking to myself, I got to put Bon Jovi on. Like
No,
I
no.
don't think that's ever really happened.
He works good in certain situations, like, you know, like in Jay and Silent Bob when you have the Bad Medicine song, for instance, or like you said, he was a great choice for Young Guns too. I thought he did great for that soundtrack and stuff like that. Here and there, you know, they got a few songs, but you're right. Like it's not
You know
Bon
what?
Jovi was never, even when I was DJing in bars outside of like Living on a Prayer and the slow song that I always sing,
Bed of
the
Roses one.
Bed of Roses. Those are
Yeah.
the only two that I would really play that often.
I had the CD that actually had Bed of Roses on it, and that would be one that I'd skip. It felt like too much, like I was being drained in cheesy crap. But
Wasn't
what
that
else?
on his greatest hits album? I thought that was one of the originals for that. It could be wrong, but yeah.
Probably. But what I wanted to say,
Crossroads or whatever.
the one positive thing I can say about Bon Jovi, I think he's a good singer. And his band, they're not bums. They can play, and especially Richie Sambora, good guitar player. But the material itself is the problem. I think that from day one, he's always gone really cheese.
Mhm.
And if he would have been more badass, you know what I mean? It's just there's a lack of badassness in Bon Jovi's music. I think Nick would agree with me.
Oh God, yeah, he's definitely like corporate weak sauce rock.
Where is
That's why
Nick?
Nick's probably being just
I'm
nice
right
and not
here.
saying anything.
I'm right here. No, I mean, I'm not one of those guys who like hates, you know, Bon Jovi as, let's just say, as much as everyone else does,
Yeah.
but I'm not like really wild about it either. I just,
Yeah.
it's just kind of there for me. Bon Jovi's about as there for me as the Happy Gilmore 2 trailer. It's there. It exists. I don't hate it.
I got like
don't
4 or
love
5
it.
of his
It's
albums.
just
That's it.
there.
Yeah. I got like
It's
Slippery
just
When
there.
Wet. I got Slippery When Wet. I got the Young Guns 2 soundtrack. I might have Keep the Faith, or at least I used to. And maybe Crossroads. Other than that, I can't think of another Bon Jovi album I have.
I want to reply to Goddess of Whim here, who said, "I will
Yeah,
not."
because I was
allow-"
gonna say, I think she was either hearing our conversation from the other day on the morning show, or
I
she just
mentioned
brought it up.
Achtung Baby. Maybe from the other day she heard it, but she says, "I will not allow bad talk from Achtung Baby. Screw the Joshua Tree. That was their best album." Now we're talking about U2, and what I'll say is that I think that they had 3 albums in their entire like 70-year career. There's like
Right.
a period of time where they had 3 albums that I think that were genuinely pretty decent. It was Rattle and Hum, Joshua Tree, and Achtung Baby.
Does
I-
Rattle and Hum even count? Because that's a live album, isn't it?
You know what? Some of it is live and some of it is like sort of live. You know,
I
not
was gonna
everything
say
is-
that one always confused me.
whatever it is, those are 3, like, you know, if you told me now, like, that I have to choose 3 CDs.
What album had Beautiful Day on it though? Because they reissued that song later on. I'm trying to remember the original one it was on.
None of those 3 has Beautiful Day on it. Beautiful Day
No,
came
I
out
know
in
it was
like,
on one of their other albums. It was an earlier song, and then they brought it back for their greatest hits album, and that one became a single off that one or whatever.
I don't know. All I know is that I'm familiar with Joshua Tree, with Achtung Baby, and Joshua and Rattle and Hum. I don't remember Beautiful Day being on any of those things.
It's on one
And-
of their earlier albums because somebody covered it earlier on, and then they re-released it because the first time they released it, I think it wasn't a hit.
I see.
trying to remember. It was
I'll
like
look into
87
that,
or
but
something
all
like
I
that,
know is
yeah.
that's basically the song. Then when you hear that, you know, like their career is pretty much over. They haven't not that I was their biggest fan, but I did
Sweetest
like.
Day is the one, or Sweetest Thing was the one from the greatest hits one. Sorry,
Right.
Yeah,
No,
go ahead, sorry.
okay. Sweetest Thing was the one that they redid. That one they recorded during the Joshua
Is
Tree.
that the one I'm thinking of? Yes. Okay,
He-
that's
he
the one I
wrote
was
it
thinking
for
of.
his
You're
wife,
right.
who
Sorry.
was angry with
Yes.
him. I don't know if he cheated or he didn't cheat or you thought she cheated or whatever the fuck it was. He recorded a song for her during during Joshua Tree. But in those days, I guess there was a bit of quality control, and somebody said, "Hey, we're releasing like rock music. What is this shit?" And then they didn't put it out. And then later, years later, when they were like already sitting around like counting their money and like, you know, swimming in bathtubs of money, somebody said, "Hey, why don't we revive this crappy ballad and make money?" And they said, "Fine."
Yeah,
And
that's what I
how
was
we got
thinking
the
of.
movie
Yeah,
song.
you're right. You're right. My bad. Yeah, it was the Sweetest Thing. Yeah, because somebody else covered it too. There was a couple covers of it, I think, that did better than theirs. So like, yeah. So they redid it for the greatest hits album. Yeah.
No, I mean, people are saying they hate Bono. I hate Bono's face.
I think Beautiful Day, I was thinking it was a song that it was on they used it for that one soundtrack for Bandits or something like that, and then it became a single, but it was also in, I think, an older song of theirs that just never was a single before. Something like that. Maybe that's what I'm getting it screwed up with, but yeah.
As I've shared once that kind of Bono was rude to me many years ago.
Did
Amelia
he take
Clark's,
a big crap like the size of?
he smells like shit, doesn't he?
Wait, who said they met Bono? Was he nice in person? That
Amelia Clark, and she said, "No, you're right."
I just anytime I think of Bono, I think about South Park.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear what he was like backstage when she met him, because
I think it sounds like they say share your sentiment, but we'll wait for their response. But Action Com says favorite MTV moments. Beavis and Butthead's probably becoming big was a big moment for me on MTV. As far as like videos that I remember or big premieres or anything like that, the Bat Dance video was a big deal. The Bartman video was a big deal when I was watching it. I remember the MC Scat Cat video being kind of cool with Paula Abdul, Opposites Attract. I mean, Madonna had a lot of great videos in that era. That late 80s, early 90s era of MTV is probably its best. I mean, of course, it rocked early on with Prince and Michael Jackson and all those guys and a lot of the hair bands. But I mean,
I think that from like
once they kind of figured out how to do the videos
from 1980 to like 1995, I think that was the.
Well, they didn't even start till 82 or whatever it was.
Whatever.
And then,
1982 until.
Yeah, and they didn't start catching on until like 83, 84, 85, and then that's when most cable companies started picking them up. So that's why I say like, and then you get to that later period. That's like. Basically, once you hit like the major Michael Jackson ones and Take on Me, those kind of videos start coming in. Once they actually are just more than just people standing around singing their songs, that's when MTV really became.
That was a really great moment in pop culture. I really enjoyed watching I was very young, but that's what got me so excited about music and stuff. I would love watching those videos. So yeah, MTV used to be something really cool. It hasn't been cool for 20. At least 20 years, if not more, 30 years.
Yeah.
Hasn't been.
Oh God.
You know when
basically since Paramount bought them, I think it was, but yeah.
Since the moment, I'll tell you when, since they came out with like The Real World, and then they're like, why don't we put a bunch of reality crap here? That's when I think it went off the cliff. And listen, I mean, I know some people liked all these kind of Yo MTV Rap and My Crib and all this stuff, but maybe Yo MTV Rap was still okay. Sorry, that's not nice. Not nice to say. That didn't do anything bad to me. I think that I didn't mean that one. I meant that once it became more like reality based rather than playing music, maybe Cribs. I meant was there something like Cribs?
Yeah, Cribs was like where they showed off their houses and shit.
Okay,
yeah.
I think forget about MTV Raps. I actually like that show. Cribs was like the one that that's what I meant. That I think that once they were going into these kind of programming and forgetting that there's supposed to be a music network, that's when they really lost it. I don't know, maybe they can't survive in today's world like that because of YouTube and all the other stuff, but there was something so cool back in the day, the way they used to put videos on, people watched it. It was really something cool. If you were around when it was relevant, it was a really cool thing.
Well, like the radio, it helped us all have a collective kind of
right. We all had like a collective experience. We'd all go there. Yeah. I mean, that's something that I think has been ruined a lot in our days of streaming and all this kind of, social media and all that stuff. I do all that stuff as much as the next person, but sometimes I regret that we don't have that kind of magic that we used to have, that people had a much more shared experience back in the day.
So yeah, Tulsa King is coming back. I don't know I think you've seen it for sure, Price, but I've
seen both seasons.
Nick, what was your favorite MTV moment? You're quiet. What's up?
My favorite MTV moment. When they actually played music videos on Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite MTV moment. I was not
Beavis and Butthead?
Well, yeah, now I was gonna say, and then Beavis and Butthead. Other than that, I didn't watch really. I think I watched that one season Spider-Man show.
Oh yeah.
And that was average at best with Neil Patrick Harris. I'm trying to think what else I watched on MTV. I think that was Jackass. I watched Jackass.
Like Liquid. Oh yeah, there was that. That was kind of the latter era. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was not really a big MTV guy. Like that was not like a go-to for me, especially outside of look at old Headbangers Ball. That was it. Other than that was kind of like,
yeah.
I was a guy who liked being in a cave looking up
Right.
things on the internet. I was the first wave of those guys who are, I'm gonna find this on the internet, and then I found it on the internet. So that's
There you go.
yeah.
All right. All right. Yeah. I can't believe I just blew past you there, Nick. I'm sorry about that. But then he also says, speaking of MTV, ever see the Vanilla Ice freak out when he retired Ice Ice Baby and Dennis Leary almost got his block knocked off by a baseball bat? Yes. That's because he was genuinely pissed about that. Yeah. I heard recently, though, I don't know if it's true or not, or if it was just a joke, but I think it's true that Vanilla Ice just went and bought the rights to Under Pressure, so he'd have to quit paying for the royalties. He's like, it was cheaper just to buy the rights in the long run or something like that.
I didn't
I don't know
hear
if
that, but that's really interesting. If he
it
did
makes
that.
sense if he did.
But does he have enough to buy that song? That's a big song.
With his comeback shit, possibly. I mean, he's done pretty good for himself in the last few
No, the
years.
reason why he's done especially well is that, and this is the one thing I give him credit, is that he invested a lot of stuff in real estate and did a lot of stuff when it comes to real estate. I know this because I could tell something now that's sort of. I'll just very quickly tell you that years ago somebody wanted Vanilla Ice for an event to perform there. And when I talked to his people and wanted to see if we could do a deal, in my mind I was thinking, well, I don't really hear this guy's music on the radio much, so he'll probably just take the deal and do whatever. And this was like an easy deal to put together. But then his people were telling me, listen, he's not hungry for work. He's made like a ton of money in like real estate, and he invested his money really well. And he's not like desperate, and they meant it. You know what I mean? Like I actually believed what they were saying.
Yeah, no, I've heard he's done pretty well for himself. So, and I know that's where that whole show came from, was like that house renovation show, was because of that stuff. Yeah. And then we got Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle sends in 5, says, believe it or not, MTV was my intro to Monty Python. They'd show 3 episodes a day. This was around 1988. I vaguely remember that. Goddess of Whim, I discovered Monty Python on both PBS, and my dad brought home the video of Now for Something Completely New, or completely different, or whatever. Goddess of Whim sends in 5 and says, the M in the MTV used to mean music. Now it stands for moron or mom, as in teen mom. Yeah, like I said, basically when Paramount bought them is when they started going downhill. Nelson Sharita sends in 2 and says, I loved MTV and the mixtapes, but those days are gone. And it's sadly true. But speaking of Paramount, the company that owns MTV and MTV Studios, actually, this is one of the things they produce now, if I remember right. Tulsa King is getting a season 3. Now I know, like I said, I think Price, you said you had seen it. Nick,
Yeah,
have you
I
seen
saw
Tulsa
seasons
King
1
yet?
and 2. I like them both, and I'll watch
Season 1
3.
I have. I'm gonna finally get to season 2 soon, but I'm gonna definitely
season 1 was better, but hey, season 2 was a lot of fun.
Season 2 was
good.
fun.
I still look forward to watching it. I'm like one of those guys where I can only watch 1 to 2 shows at a time, and now that I finished Invincible, I can now finally get into this.
You were going to say something, Price.
I was going to say that it was fun. The second season, but it did feel like a dip in quality from the first one. It wasn't terrible. It's not that I couldn't watch it, but I did have some things about it that I didn't think were done that great. And I really hope that season 3, it would be great if it could return a little more to what made the first one good. Even though I didn't suffer watching the second one, I just hope the third one is just a little better than the second one.
So it looks like Tulsa King has been renewed for season 3 at Paramount. Tulsa King is heading back into production in Atlanta and Oklahoma, as the Sylvester Stallone-led series has been renewed for a 3rd season at Paramount Plus. The mob drama, which launched in 2022, earned a great deal of buzz as part of Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan's overall deal with Paramount. The season 2 premiere, which dropped in September 2024, garnered 21.1 million views, becoming the most watched global premiere for the streaming service. And think about how put that up against like Daredevil and the Star Wars numbers. It's like twice.
Yeah.
It's almost 3 times.
Mopping the floor clean.
The second season currently holds a perfect 100% critic approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm kind of surprised by that. Per the below art, the season 3 premiere will be directed by Jim McKay. So I guess it's getting a new showrunner, or at least something about that. The cast includes Stallone, Jay Will, Max. Yeah, this is all just stuff we already know. I can't tell you anything that I've read in these episodes, but I'm excited. Starr told Collider recently about the upcoming season, of which he already read the first 2 episodes. So there you go. Tulsa King was produced by MTV, like I said, and it's part of Taylor Sheridan's little universe over there. So there you go, guys. Hopefully, if you're fans of that, you're excited, because I am.
I'm looking forward to it, even though I haven't watched season 2. I'm looking forward to it because I think I'll like season 2. I don't see where I'm gonna go, but man, Tulsa King season 2 sucked. I don't want to watch season 3. I just don't see that being a reality in my lifetime. I mean, if you guys know, I mean, you'll find out. If you ever like hear of me like saying that, please document that, because I just don't see a possibility to me. But wow. What a terrible show.
I mean, there's some tropes that the second season falls into that you're just like, oh, come on. You know,
it's fine. Hey,
but it's not.
You're talking to a guy who loves
shows,
tropes, so that means I'm probably gonna like it even more because you said that.
But I mean, you got Sylvester Stallone and Michael McDonough, or however you say his name, and all that kind of stuff in it. It's a great show, in my opinion. So, I mean, there's a few elements that kind of creep in that are woke, but you also have his character that is kind of like the most anti-woke character there is. Like, he even has a rant that is amazing in the first film about pronouns and shit. Or first season, not film, sorry. But yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are too. Jason Webster says, love the Joshua Tree and Rattle and Hum. They are the only 2 U2 albums I like. Oh, Octong Baby's so good, though. Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle says, I remember when Roddy Piper referred to MTV as music to vomit. By 10, 15 years later, I agreed with yeah. Well, we all kind of get to that point at some point, but I think we reached a point where it's a new low for music, and we've talked about that many a times. So yeah. So was there anything else you guys had to say about Tulsa King?
Nothing. I can't wait to watch season 2. I will specifically go on my way to let you know when I finish it. I'm like, Tom, I did it. And then everyone I meet will know about it. Hey, Tom, I did it. It's going to be great.
You went the distance. All right. Well, hopefully you guys are looking forward to another Cujo, because Darren Aronofsky is in talks to direct the Netflix Cujo remake. I remember the news dropping about this the other day, so now we know who's going to make it. This is one that definitely did not need a remake. The first one was perfect. The original one was perfect. It cut out all the fucking fat and bullshit of the book, gets you right into where you need to be. Is one of the most it is fucking suspenseful as shit. And, you know, once they're stuck in the car by that final act, you're like, Jesus Christ. I mean, have you guys ever seen the movie or read the book or anything?
I have not. I know.
Which one? Cujo?
Cujo. Yeah.
I've not read
I don't even know what this is.
You don't know what Cujo is?
I have no idea.
The
First
Stephen
time I
King?
ever heard it.
Really?
Yeah.
Killer Saint Bernard?
I don't know. I've never seen. I never read it. I have no idea.
D. Wallace Stone is in the first one, and now what's his face? I think Ricky Schroeder is in it. Is a little kid, and it's about a dog who gets rabies, and he traps the mother and the kid in this car. So like that's basically the movie, but like it's pretty good actually. It's suspenseful as fuck. Yeah, it's kind of depressing. It is in some ways, yes. Cujo kind of was Jaws with a dog, sort of. Wow, I can't believe you guys have never seen it. Wow.
Well, you know, I lived in the cave. I saw everything, but I saw.
You lived in the cave that Cujo got fucking rabies because he got bit by a bat. He was chasing a rabbit. That's all he was doing. Poor little innocent Cujo. It is. That's how it starts out. He's chasing a rabbit, goes after the rabbit in the hole, which turns out to be a bat cave. Bats come out flying at him, and they bite him. And then good old Cujo starts getting rabies and killing everybody.
Kill. Yeah. Darren
Am I right?
Arnold.
Am I right, audience? Wasn't Ricky Schroeder in the first one? Is that who I'm thinking of? The Silver Spoons kid or whatever?
The audience will let you know. You know what? I don't, but I just realized I gotta watch the Police Academy movies I didn't watch. I didn't watch
Yeah.
4 and 5. So I gotta watch those. I love 1, 2, and 3, but I gotta watch 4 and 5. So this is good. I gotta make time to do these things, Tom Connors.
Yeah, it's in backcountry.
Can't stop here. This is backcountry.
Oh God, I love Cujo. I've got like 4 copies of it.
Woo!
I'm not even kidding.
Of course
I'm
you
not
do.
kidding. I've got like
I believe you. You don't have to convince me. I believe you.
because I have the old Blu-ray. I had another Blu-ray of it I got rid of before I got the Lionsgate one, and then I got an import of it, and then I got the new 4K. So I know I at least have like 4 copies. Cujo. So yeah, at least maybe 3. I don't know. Lawnmower. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Lawnmower Man could use that has nothing. That one was so bad that Stephen King, of all people, can you imagine that? Motherfucking movie was so bad that he's like, just take my name off of this shit.
Wow.
He has never done that for any other movie that I know of.
That's
Somebody would correct me if I'm
crazy.
wrong, but like, yeah, he ended up losing the case from what I know, but like the movie has so little to do with what the original book was. He was just so appalled with what they did. Well, I don't know if you guys remember, that was during the VR craze in the early 90s. So they like took this whole spin from the novel of what it was originally about and twisted it into this VR thing where he sucked, like kind of like a evil Tron, basically. The Lawnmower Man. The best part of the movie is when he kills the one dude with the lawnmower. That's it. That is it.
Of course.
Other than that, the rest of the movie is so bad. I have not seen it in so many years. Oh God.
Well, maybe see, no, if you did that where you took something that was bad,
Exactly.
I wouldn't be as opposed to the idea of remaking because, like, okay, you know what? We really, really failed with this. What can we do to make this a great movie?
You know what was also a very short story, Flying Blind? Graveyard Shift, but it was a hell of a good movie. Hell of a good movie. And a great fucking cast. Jason Webster says, these days I love and listen to Japanese and South Korean bands. Bandmade, Fate Gear, Wakaki Band. I probably said that wrong. And Rolling Quartz. They're all amazing. Yeah, I heard is this like that J-pop stuff or J-rock or whatever? Like that's like some of the more newer popular stuff. But American music has gone to shit.
Well, as far as the mainstream goes, yeah, it definitely is. I couldn't tell you what goes on in the mainstream, but as far as I guess you could say the lesser known stuff, I'm enjoying a lot of stuff that's lesser known, and I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, Gotta Swim. She knows that music too. But then Jam and John's giving you shit. Has Nick seen any movies? We need to start a show where Nick watches movies for once.
I have seen a lot of movies. It's just I've seen everything, but I've also not seen I've not seen everything.
Well, next thing you know, you're going to say you haven't seen Highlander or some stupid shit.
I've seen Highlander.
I know you have. Or RoboCop. Yeah. That would really disappoint
I've seen. Dude, we did a Toxic Tuesday.
I know. I'm just joking. I'm just
I love RoboCop. So good. There you go, Jim and John.
We should find out all the manly movies you haven't seen yet and do a little show just on that where it's like you talk about
I've seen all the Missing in Actions. I've seen the Delta Force. I've seen the Scorpion, the Hitman, Invasion USA, Lone Wolf McQuaid. That's just a list of Chuck Norris movies.
They
Nick
made a Highlander too?
Movies. Yes, there's no such thing. Nick hasn't watched horror movies. I love the first Halloween. John, think here. I love the OG Original Dead trilogy. Big fan. I even like the first one. I even like the first one a lot. I know that one doesn't.
Gotta Swim. You know what's funny is the director's cut of Highlander is pretty much the only version that exists anymore. Even though there's like 2 or 3 different cuts of it initially, because the U.S. cut was like 10 minutes shorter And then the UK cut is closer to the director's cut, is my understanding. But yeah, it's the same kind of thing with Highlander 2. There's various cuts of that before they even did the Renegade cuts. Yeah. And then Jason Webster says most American music today feels like it's going through the motions. Too many groups look, feel, and sound like they came off an assembly line. Yeah. Well, not only that, a lot of it's the same 3 producers, same 3 writers. You know, there's no bands anymore. That's what Paul on the morning show the other day was making a good point. He's like, name a new band. As far as American bands and stuff, I can't.
I mean, as far as mainstream bands, yeah I couldn't. But I mean, that
not
obviously,
new.
that's
Indie, yeah, maybe, but yeah, like,
indie, easily. But in mainstream, I couldn't. But to be fair, that's probably not my conversation to have as well because I really don't pay attention to the mainstream.
Yeah. And now, well, is there really a mainstream anymore? That was kind of the point.
You know,
with like the collective, you know, thing with MTV and popular radio back in the day.
With the internet, I think the internet kind of like shattered the concept of the mainstream, especially once YouTube got rolling, and then you got
Viral
Spotify
took over that, yeah.
and Bandcamp. I feel like those things kind of broke down the walls on those things because even though the stuff, I guess you could say a lot of the newer stuff that I listen to is not exactly mainstream, but it's still accessible to get a hold of. It's within one click of a button. It's not, let's just say, something you could find at a really obscure
YouTube really changed a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah. Big time. YouTube changed everything in music. There's bands who, let's just say, who I know of who probably had a bit of a rough start in the late 80s, early 90s, broke up a few years later. Then they got a second win because they gained a following from YouTube. Right. And they're, oh, crud, we got all these listeners. And they got they got the band back together. That's actually happened because, well, the internet changed everything. Like, yeah, it was bad for some bands, especially in the mainstream side, but it was also good for a lot of the lesser known bands where it got them say, hey, look, we finally have an audience now we can actually tour around the country for and people will actually show up for. So the internet has also done some good for music as well.
Indeed. So
I guess.
Whoops, I think we got another super chat here. Oh, we got 2 more super chats here. Go141 sends in 50 Mexican dollars and says, I don't even see movies anymore. I just heard you guys because I work 70 plus hours a week. If you guys were to lie to me, I wouldn't be the wiser. Well, that's not our job. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I know what you mean. Well, honestly, the funny thing is Go1401, it seems like I had more time to watch and consume movies and TV shows before I got into this. And now I have a harder time trying to, like, after the show, instead of joining Nick, sadly, I got to go edit a video. So, like, yeah, so, like, my time is usually taken up with that. And then I try to squeeze in things when I can. That's why I don't mind these shorter season shows. They're not so bad. You know, I love like 1923 or 28 or whatever the hell year it is in that show, but yeah, and stuff like that. The Taylor Sheridan shows are real easy to consume. You know, I love some more stuff like that. But as far as other stuff, I generally go with classic stuff because I don't have to keep up with it so much. And if I fall off, it's no big deal. But yeah, because anytime I've tried starting something new, it generally doesn't work out well for me. Deeble101 sends in 2 and says, y'all should do a list of movies that you have not seen. That's not a bad idea. Like, especially like we should do like a confession list of like famous movies that everybody's
that
seen.
That would be fun. I'll do it. I would seriously do it. I'm not opposed to doing it.
I mean, I still
never to this day saw Rise of Skywalker, and to be fair, I don't want to ever see Rise.
I sadly have. Well, that's not even what I mean. I'm talking like Godfather. I'm talking like
I've seen all like three of the Godfathers.
The big like I mean, a good place to start would be probably like the AFC 100 movies or whatever it is, and then go from there to like think about movies that you should have seen as a nerd that you may not have. Like I'm sure some people haven't seen like Blade Runner, for instance. Or stuff like that.
Love it. Blade Runner so good. 2049.
You not seeing Young Guns surprised me, but that's not so much a nerd thing as it is a guy movie thing. But yeah,
you know, I miss.
That's not a bad idea, Deeple. You were saying, sorry.
No, I think may tend to forget that A man can only watch so many movies when he also adds a bunch of comics and music to listen to too. Now, if movies is like your one thing, yeah, it's probably easier to have seen all those movies. You throw those variables into the equation and then throw in, well, Nick had a lot of alcohol in his life once upon a time. So, no, there have been movies I may have seen that I don't even remember once upon a time. So, yeah, because of I juggle a lot of things, I wasn't able to catch everything. It happens.
And this was AA with Nick.
My confession.
My confessions
My
with Nick.
truth.
It's his truth.
Oh.
We're going to learn a lot about Nick today. So stay tuned, kids.
I thought it was going to be that song about, I am not
Oops.
gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men. Well, I got news for you. That means you're gay.
It does mean you're gay, Nick. And we'll find out more about that when we get back here on Confessions with Nick Weiser. All 32 confessions are coming up.
Oh, that's good. 32 confessions. Oh,
Welcome
man.
back to the 32 Confessions of Nick Weiser.
Oh, that's good.
I'm your host, Bubba Love.
Ooh. Eddie Murphy, he
Nick
didn't tell me
here.
you're showing up.
We got Nick here. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing real good. I like my
Little
fried
Nick
chicken.
here. Now, they say you're the son of the devil.
Yeah, well, he knows how to
I don't think
rock.
you're such a bad dude.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, yeah. ActionCom wonders when you're going to do the pizza Airbnb. Did you see that?
Yeah, oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'd like to. It's just right now something that's gonna be sometime before
You
I
could
get
live there, Nick.
man, that'd be amazing. I wish.
You
I
live in the
I
pizza
probably would
house.
never I would probably never come out of the closet though at that point.
And you got to have it built over a pizzeria so everything smells like pizza.
Oh dude, right?
I had an ex-girlfriend that I just loved hanging out at her sister's house because her sister lived above a pizzeria and it always smelled amazing there.
Oh, dude, that reminded me of my car. Like when I was dating, when I was dating a girl at the time, she's like, "Oh, this car smells like pizza." I'm like, "I know." So you're not gonna do anything about it? What do you
No,
mean?
it took a lot of work to get it to smell like that.
Yeah, like this is a lot of long hours and long days. A lot of pizzas being delivered in this car. I'm not just gonna undo this. Like, do you really expect that from
I
me?
like getting in my car and it smelled like Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, so actually that would be kind of a cool.
I recently I got when I took me. And
What
the
is
kids-
the smell of Chuck E. Cheese? Pizza and vomit? Like,
the pizza and vomit. I have the Portillo's chocolate cake shake as my scent for my car currently. So I took the kids to get
that sounds
Portillo's.
so motherfucking.
Dude, my car smells amazing. When I walk in, it's like straight up like romance.
Say the name of it
chocolate.
again.
The chocolate cake shake.
That doesn't that not sound gay to you, Price?
Oh, what sounded gay?
The
His
chocolate
candle.
cake shake.
Or not
No,
his
it's not a
candle,
candle.
but his
It's the car
air
scent.
freshener. I mean,
It did sound, yes, I guess.
rather gay.
Hey, if you don't like chocolate, it's not my fault you guys don't like good smelling cars.
I love chocolate. But you know who else loves chocolate? Women and gay men.
So are you trying to tell me that I'm trans?
Your car should smell like beef and or pizza
Oh my gosh.
or beer.
Oh, God.
Beefaroni.
Ew,
Beefaroni
no.
pizza.
No beefaroni.
I'm gonna fire
Actually-
up my stove and cook me some
I can't
beefaroni.
believe nobody
Tom.
hasn't made that yet because I've seen that nasty ass macaroni and cheese pizza. I can't believe nobody's made beefaroni pizza yet.
My car smells like Orangina. Do you remember Orangina? The soda.
China, what the fuck is that?
Oh, you remember the soda Orangina?
No, what the fuck?
Dude, when you watch the transporter,
Sounds like a
and-
racist pussy.
when you watch the transporter, there's a scene where Jason Statham goes to a vending machine, and they actually have a straw carrier, and it's a big sign. It's on the thing. It says Orangina, and I laughed because I used to always say Orangina, and then I had a coworker one day said Orangina. I was like,
This is
"Oh."
really a thing?
Dude, it's a real soda. Google it. Orangina is a soda.
Like oranges have vaginas.
I just call Orangina for obvious reasons.
I could eat
But
a
Google
peach
it.
for
It's a
hours.
soda. Orangina is a soda.
I believe you. It sounds weird though. And then Jason Webster says the American music industry, thank you for getting us out of this conversation, and the Hollywood film industry stopped being about art forms and became products or content to be mass produced. Well, they always kind of have been to a point. But here's the thing. The 60s, 70s, and 80s, especially up through the early part of the 90s, were a very creative time, and you had a lot of technological advancements. Like things were going even faster than these people could keep up with as far as like the corporate side of things. Does that make sense? Like you had so many amazing talents able to get out there and put their music out there or their films out there and or act or write. And nowadays it's so, and we were talking about just a few minutes ago, and I think this is part of the problem. Everything's so scattered now that you don't have a collectiveness, right? Like, because we could start talking about a certain director. A director would get buzz. Like, I mean, I think we're all old enough here. We probably remember when Tim Burton first kind of came onto the scene. He was like the it director there for like, you know, that moment in time, right? And then there was another one, then Tarantino and so on. And like, you would have those kind of things happening in certain kind of movies and certain kind of advancements in technology. And, you know, we were just talking about the Lawnmower Man, how that was the whole VR thing with CGI and whatnot. Like, you know, they were pushing that to the limits all as much as they could. But yeah, anymore, it doesn't feel like they're pushing any limits. If anything, they're limiting themselves in ways they shouldn't. And the limitations they used to deal with that would make them more, um, inventive are gone. Like it's so easy to just say, oh, we'll fix it in post with CGI or we'll do it with computers, right? Or you can even do it in your phone now with a filter even, you know? So look, that's part of the problem. I think it's become too easy and it's taken all of the form out of the artistic form, like to be able to form something. I mean, the physical aspect of it, right? And I always love the quote that Jack Nicholson says, and I don't know if John Lennon ever said it or not, but he might have. He's like, you know, like you give me a piece of clay, I'll make you a statue. You give me a tuba, I'll write you a song, right? Like he's an artist, right? Like that's the quote he says basically. And I mean, that's kind of the way every artist should be able to be. It shouldn't matter what your medium is. If you're that creative, if you have that inside of you, if you're that kind of person, you can make it work somehow, right? I mean, I'm kind of a creative person myself. Price, I'm sure has done some things. Nick, you may have outlets that you do too that we don't know about that have to do with cross-dressing, perhaps. I'm just
Yeah, no, I'm a pretty decent songwriter, to be honest.
I can
Not that
imagine
it matters
so.
today. I mean, I guess AI can write the songs.
Well, it can also be a tool. See, everything is a tool, and it depends on how you use it, right? Like that's the thing. It's just like the things that kids have gotten, I think, lazy. That's part of the problem is they'll just go in and they'll bring up Acid Loop or, you know, Fruity Loops or whatever fuck, you know, program, make a song, and then it goes on to YouTube and it gets 1 million clicks, and all of a sudden they're a superstar for something they did hardly anything for, right?
And
like
usually their songs are shitty too.
And I can do that too. And that was kind of my proof with doing that last album I kind of did with those rap songs and stuff. I don't know if you heard many of them or not, but where I did like Everything Looks Like Shit on Me, but I Look Good on You and stuff like that. I did those albums the same way a lot of these kids and producers are making these albums now, just using clips and samples and other shit. None of it, but I've done tons of albums where I've actually played all the instruments and everything on it, but it doesn't matter, right? I just did it this way just to show that I could do it or prove that I could do it while also having fun. And now I've moved on to AI because the better part is I can feed AI in what I want. Like I can play the music on my guitar or what have you, and it'll actually pump it out what I want without having to have a studio, musicians, and all that kind of equipment and people come in personnel in a matter of seconds, right? Like I did that whole score for Nosferatu. Yeah, it took me a while, but can you imagine how much it would have cost and how long it would have taken me to do that if I didn't have that as an assistant, basically? Like it took me almost a year to probably put all that together. God knows how much money. So
The only thing is that I like hearing myself sing better than their singers.
well, that's kind of what I've been doing lately is working on stuff where I'm doing the actual vocals, but I'm writing the songs, and then my buddy and actually my co-writer actually writing the songs, and then we'll feed them into the AI thing, and once we get what we want produced out of it, then yeah.
The only thing I'll say about the AI stuff is that even with like Suno's latest version of whatever it is that they have, like version 4, whatever that is, I still feel like it doesn't sound as good as if a band was there recording it.
It's getting better, but you're not wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's still simulating what is out there that it has been.
It's getting much better. Between the versions, there's a huge increase in quality.
That's what I'm saying. It's getting to a point where I could basically, like I said, play something on the guitar, like a little ditty that I want, and as long as I have like the structure there and I know what I want, I'll plug it in, tell it exactly what instruments I want and the type of music, and after about 2-3 tries usually, or sometimes even on the first try, it'll spit out exactly what I want. And then I'll take
but
it
the
and
quality
go
of
sing
what
over
you
top
want
of it. Yeah.
doesn't sound like a CD quality or whatever you want to call it.
It's getting there now.
That's fair enough. It's still
Yeah.
for my year, I don't think it's there yet. It's getting better for sure.
Compared to what I was doing before, like it's gotten a lot better.
Yes, it keeps getting better. I'm not gonna lie, it gets better all the time. Version 4 is a huge step up. Still, I can tell that it's like something about it. There's like a little bit of, I don't know if to say there's like a distortion on it or something that annoys me, but it doesn't.
See, this is sounding pretty clean to me. This is from the latest one.
Well, down in the valley where
I did the vocals.
There's a tale of a hero, what a legend they told. His name was John Wayne with a walk so tall. In a world of dust and desert, he stood above them all.
The solo is better than the chords. The chords I can feel is like not 100%. Just the
I don't know how
sound.
it's coming through. Yeah.
He's the same. The Duke was big as a mountain and twice as strong. God help the man who did him wrong.
I mean, it hasn't completely came in yet.
The bass, the drums,
John Wayne, ride that silver screen.
Anyway, but yeah,
it's
getting
not
pretty
bad.
good.
It's definitely better than what we've had. I think the acoustic guitar strumming, the rhythm is good. It's just something about that sound doesn't sound as like convincing.
I think part of the problem with that is it's actually using my original recording of the guitar. So it's trying to make the new guitar sort of sound like that's what I run into sometimes as a problem. Because like my buddy who I write with, he'll send me stuff that he's recorded on his phone, right? So he'll sit there and play it. And he has like a foot pedal and some other things if he wants to get a little crazy, but it's still kind of limited in its sound quality. So it's feeding off of the original sound. So now I went and I took some older songs that I had recorded much better quality, and I fed them in and got some newer versions out that to me like just blew my fucking mind at how good they sounded compared to the originals, because I think it's more of the quality I'm feeding into it first, if that makes sense. So, but anyhow, yeah, I'm not going to waste everybody's time. I'm listening to my crap. So yeah. But yeah, no, I'm actually been working on some stuff in the background here and there. But anyway, Nick, speaking of things in the background and things you're working on, I love those shades, by the way. You look like you're going to go skiing. You're muted.
You're muted. Yeah, Tom, I'm going to go skiing right now before I eat some beefaroni. Yeah.
They got a response, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll stick with them for a bit. So that's kind of what I'm rolling with. And what's coming up? Toxic Tuesday in less than 40 minutes. Talking the Transporter, and also I did a video yesterday. I feel like you should all watch. 5 Daredevil comics to read before or after watching Born Again. So it's a 16-minute video that I had a lot of fun doing, and it's always fun to go be an actual YouTuber for once and actually talk about some badass shite. So yes, do watch that before the show starts. And be talking Daredevil Born Again tomorrow. Maybe with Price. Maybe.
Yeah, no, there's a very high probability that I'll be there, and even on time. Maybe worst case scenario, a few minutes late, but I should be there.
Excellent. Yeah, that's what's coming my way. But yeah, thanks for having me. And I will make sure I watch other movies that I haven't seen before, chat.
We'll have to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah,
well,
it'll be
thank you,
fun.
Planet X. Says that song was excellent. Great work. Well, sometimes you can hear. I played it on MEAD Radio. I'm not even sure if that's the final version yet. I'm not happy with the vocals. I want to work on it some more. But there's some other ones I've been working on too. So yeah, maybe I just paid my renewal on my fucking licensing thing. So I better put something on there. I didn't put anything on there last year or the year before that. I think it's been a while. I got to get the Nosferatu soundtrack up on there and some other things. So yeah, I'll start getting that stuff loaded up on there so you guys can get the MP3s or whatever, wherever you buy your music from. Because that's the beauty of my publisher is they publish it in all the places for me. So wherever your fine music is sold nowadays. Yeah. So and if enough people bug me for it, I might do a CD sometime. Thank you, Planet X. That was very generous of you. So with that Price, what do you got coming up? You got a show later on tonight, right?
I have the Night Owl on my live stream channel. I also I was trying to get people to maybe subscribe to this channel that I have that we do karaoke on from time to time.
Yeah, we did a stream the other night. It was a lot of fun, and maybe we'll do more and more often if we can get this channel up.
How
and
do
going.
I share this thing? I'm trying to share it. I don't know what to
are
do.
You not a?
I don't think.
Say
I
hi
am,
in
I
the
think.
chat. Oh, I'm gonna make you a mod. Here we go. Never mind. I'm doing it now. For some reason, you're not. There you are, moderator. So now you can add whatever notations you need to. There you go. So you should be able to share it now.
Okay.
There you go.
So
I see it there.
this thing that I just shared, this is something that's kind of like a top secret little channel that Tom and I from time to time may do some karaoke on. So if you guys like the stuff that we do karaoke, I don't want to mix it with my regular live streams. I want to kind
Nick,
of do.
will you come and sing "Flirting with Disaster" for us?
This is a top secret channel.
An awful singer.
And I know it takes effort. I know it takes effort to click on a link and I'm not saying that's sarcastically or anything. Like people don't feel like going and clicking and subscribing, but it would be nice because then if we do a little kind of special event that involves music and maybe games and things like that, then you guys will know about it, and otherwise you may not know about it. So
basically, Price is giving you a free entryway to the back door.
I wouldn't have worded it that way, but yes, Nick. They're going to have a lot of beefaroni if they. A lot. That's it. I've made Nick like a fan of
I'm
beefaroni.
never going to be able to eat.
It's never going to leave him alone now. I think he's probably never eaten that in his life.
I think I've had like 3 times in my life.
Can I sound like Jeff Lynne?
I think I had it once and it wasn't very appetizing.
I don't know if I can get as high as Jeff Lynne. I'd have to hear him.
Yeah, no, he sings high. I certainly couldn't get as high as Jeff. I can get high, but not singing. You know what I'm trying to say. Meatloaf
is the only thing I can do that's high, and from just experiencing it, like after a certain amount of time, my voice is gone. So yeah.
All right. Well, good stuff. I see that a few people even subscribe to the POR Confidential.
Sweet.
So that's good. And I'll talk about it in other streams and stuff. Just it'll be nice if we have that'll be like an area we could just hang out and have like little get-togethers that are more like, personal.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we have CC on there who can sing. No, I'm being mean to everybody but me.
No, it would be
I'm
nice.
the only one who can't sing. You can sing.
No,
can sing.
CC has a more
I
of a
pretend
range.
I can sing.
CC
can rip and roar.
I used to be able to sing. I think that these days I'm like past my prime and just kind of get by.
No worries. But as we get off of here, I want to thank everybody. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves and each other. And we will see you later.